right. Hello, good morning. Today we are going to watch a video about my tips and tricks for adding and subtracting decimals. So today is going to be the test, and I want to just make sure that you're remembering all the things. So on your notes, we're going to be going over 5 different tips. I want you to write each tip in your notes. I want you to write what the tip is, and then I want you to write the example. For this tip 1, I want you to write out this chart. I want you to draw a box, and then I want you to draw lines, because this is the place value chart. So it's really important that you know the place value chart. So we have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones, and those are our whole numbers, like 125, or 1, or 8, or 18. So these are our whole numbers. They're numbers that are more than 1. 1 or more, actually. Then we have a decimal point, and then we have numbers that are less than 1. So we have numbers that are maybe 0.2, that's 2/10, or 0.35, that's 3/35. These numbers are less than 1, okay? Now, one thing that's important to remember is if these numbers get the larger that these numbers get, so like 685, the larger that this number gets, the closer it is to 1. So 660.685, that's 685 thousandths. That is close. It's getting close to 1. It's not quite 1 yet. And if you're thinking about decimals in money, that's why I like to think of it as in money, because I can relate to that. 6.685. That's not a whole dollar yet, but it's about 6. So it's 68 cents, about 69 cents. So that's how I like to think of it, like that. But this is 685 thousandths, okay? So let's try another. Oops. So when you are doing this, know that what we talked about yesterday, 1/10, which is written like this, 0.1, is not the same as 10. That's 1/10 is not equal to 10. Okay, so you're going to have questions on your test that look like this. What is the value of 0.53, or that's 0 and 53 hundredths? So, and the 3 is underlined. So the value of the 3 in this number is 3 hundredths, or it can be written this way. Okay, so we'll do a couple examples. You're going to want to write these examples in your notes. Okay, so I'm going to give you this number, 1 and 39 hundredths. So if I underline the 3, what is the value of the 3 in this problem? The answer is 3/10. Or it can be written like this, 3/10. Okay? One more example. Example B. So put both of these in your notes, please. 0 and 876 10,000ths. So the 6 is equal to 6. I'm sorry. Did I say 10,000? I'm sorry. 0 and 0.876 is equal to 876 thousandths. So the 6 is 6 thousandths, or it can be written like this, 0.0006. That's the value of the 6. Okay, please pause here and make sure you write down the tip of the day. I would also write tips and tricks. I'd write the title, write tip 1, draw out the chart, please, and write these 2 examples. After you are done writing those things, you may unpause and go to the next one. Okay, now we're going to do tip 2. So go ahead and write tip 2 in your notes and write what the tip is. So you're going to be writing, always line up the decimal points when adding and subtracting. That's really important to do, so please make sure that you do that. Write down that tip and then write the example. 5 and 43 hundredths plus 2 and 89 hundredths. Now so that's how it's written out, like in a math problem or something. Now we're going to show how to do it correctly. So that would be 5, 43, and you can space it out just to make it easier. Now you want to make sure these line up, and you want to, so when you're adding, I always like to make sure to put the decimal point right away. Okay, so that is how you do that. Make sure you add, you line up your decimal points when you're adding and subtracting. Also, if you have a subtraction problem, the larger number needs to go on top. Okay, that's something you should know already. Okay, tip 3. After lining up the decimal points, fill in the spaces with zeros. So sometimes you might have a number like this where there's only 2 numbers versus a number like this where there's 3. So remember, you're going to fill that in with zeros. So we're going to write this example out. It's going to be 6 and 89 hundredths minus 3 ninths. Okay, so to fill that in with 0, we have that extra space. You're going to put a 0 there. Okay, and then you can subtract. Remembering the subtraction rules, I can't subtract 8 from 9, so I have to regroup. Okay, so please make sure you write that example. Okay, tip 4. This is how you write out dollar amounts. So if you have $10, you write it out like this: 10 decimal point 00, because that's showing that it's $10 without any cents. $20 is written like this: $20 without any cents. I want you to write this whole thing. I also want you to write the example, $15, and I want you to put in right here the answer to this. Okay. Okay, please pause here, write down the notes for both of these tips, and then you may move on after you're finished. Okay, tip 5. These are all tips for problem solving, things that we should know already, but I just want to review with you. Okay, when finding the difference, or how much more, or how much farther, or how much change, you are going to subtract because you're finding the difference. Okay? When you're finding total amounts, or how much altogether, or numbers combined, you're going to add. Big thing to remember, don't forget to line up the decimal points and check your work. Please check your work. You need to make sure that you're getting the right answer. If you have one number that's off, it's completely going to be wrong. Okay, so please check your work by using the strategies of adding the 2 numbers together to see if you get the total that you started with. Also make sure to read the problems, and also make sure that you're doing all the steps, because sometimes there's more than one step to a problem. Okay, you can pause, write down all of this information for tip 5, and then you may go on to the next slide. Okay, unpause. You do not have to write this if you don't want to. So, but I just want, you don't have to write. To include in your notes, but if you want to, you can. But just a few more things before you begin your test. A greater number is written on the top when subtracting, so if you have 8.3 minus 3.59, This is the greater number, 8.3 or 8 3/10. So make sure you write 8 3/10 on the top. The lower number goes on the bottom, and then you fill in with zeros. You need to regroup if the top number is less than the bottom number. You guys were doing this yesterday. You were just taking $20 minus $15 and you were just subtracting down. That is incorrect. $15.39 is not $15.39. I mean $20 minus $15.39. $6 minus $3.17 is not $3.17. So let me just show you what we would do to make this correct. It would be $20. You have to regroup because you can't take from 0. You regroup all the way to the end. Now you can regroup. And you're borrowing from each neighbor, getting the decimal point. Now this makes more sense, doesn't it? $20 minus $15.39 is equal to $4.61. So let's do one more the correct way. We're not going to subtract down. We're going to borrow. You do not have to, again, include this in your notes, but if you want to, you can. Please, please, check your addition and subtraction when you're doing these problems and make sure that they make sense. Take the time to make sure that it's correct. This is your grade for math, so do your best, please. You guys got this. You can do this. After you're finished, please show your notes to Mrs. Mallory, and then you may begin the test. All right, good luck.